Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A New Way to Museum. I am Alicia, I am the naturalist here. So today we are going to do part 2 of our feeding our non-venomous snakes. So if you haven't watched part 1, make sure to look at the link in the description and go watch it. Before we do any of that, make sure you like and subscribe so you can see us every single week and all the amazing things we have here at the Sternberg Museum. So today, before we start feeding our animals, we are going to talk about how snakes breathe while they are eating. Because they do have teeth, but they are super small, so they don't chew up their food, they swallow it whole. So this is Pretzel. If you've seen our other videos, you might have met her. She is a Great Plains rat snake. She has lived at the museum her whole life. She is about 20 years old. She is really great with everybody, so she has been really trained to show the inside of snake's mouth. So today she's going to show us something called her glottis. So you can see here, it is a little hole in the inside of her mouth. Right now it is closed, so when she needs to breathe, she will open it up and she will take in some air, and this is how snakes can breathe while eating. It is very flexible, so it can move side to side so that the food is not in the way. And this is also how snakes hiss, because there is a piece of cartilage in there, so when snakes forcibly push out air, it vibrates, and that's how we get hisses from snakes. So Pretzel's not going to eat for us today, but she is just going to be a great little snake for us to see. We are going to feed some of our other snakes and to see who's hungry. So here in captivity, our snakes aren't really affected by the weather of Kansas, so that's great. So typically they are fed every week. Sometimes they are not hungry, sometimes they are. We can just really tell. They have telltale signs, like they will look at the back of their cage where they know the food comes from. They'll be super active and stuff like that. So it's just really, you need to get to know the snakes, which is really easy to do when they like to eat so much. Okay, the first snake we are going to feed is our prairie king snake. So our prairie king snake, we got him about 3 years ago. So he is a wild caught snake, but he was just a juvenile when we caught him. So he's gotten a lot bigger. He usually eats just fine. As you can see, he's eating a pinky. So he usually gets about 2 or 3 of these at a time. He can eat bigger prey, but he does really well with the small mice, and that's what we can have really easily for him to eat. So the next snake we are going to feed is also another king snake. So we have 3 king snakes here on display. 2 of them are from Kansas, like we just fed our prairie king snake and then our speckled king snake. But this one is not from Kansas, this one is from a pet store. This is Oreo. He is a California king snake. So even though he's not from Kansas, he is one of our ambassadors because he is so great with kids and programs and stuff like that. And he is also a very interesting eater. So we actually got him donated to us because he wasn't eating in captivity. So if you know anything about king snakes, they do specialize in eating other snakes, particularly venomous snakes. We can't feed them that here in captivity, so they are eating mice. So when we got Oreo donated to us, he wasn't eating for his previous owners. And then once he was with us for a couple of weeks, he figured out how to eat dead prey. He has not looked back. Now he's just a very great eater. He is eating a pinky as well. He usually gets 2 or 3 of these once a week, and he just eats very well, and then he'll be ready to go. I love that he eats so well because one of the wonderful things about him at programs is that he poops on kids, which surprisingly they really love. So the next snake we are going to feed is a western rat snake. So they're pretty common in parts of Kansas, not so much here in Hays, Kansas where we're located, but this snake was actually found here in Hays, Kansas. She was accidentally transported with a bunch of firewood from another part of Kansas, and when they found her, she was injured because she was stuck between the firewood. So we went out and got her. She's relatively gentle considering western rat snakes are known for being a bit sassy out in the wild, but she is pretty sweet. She is really small, so she might actually be a male, but we didn't really care to find that out. We just let our volunteers decide what they want her to be. So she is eating a small adult mouse. She usually only eats every 2 weeks because she is pretty much full grown at this point, so she doesn't need to eat as much as those littler snakes that we previously fed. So western rat snakes, we have two of them here. They always really confuse me because I learned them as being black rat snakes, which makes perfect sense. They are black and they are beautiful, but now they are called western rat snakes. So the last snake that is going to eat for us today is actually not a display snake like the previous snakes that we have fed. So his name is Jacob. He is a bull snake. So we have two bull snakes here. You've probably met Jason if you've watched our ambassadors video. Jason is a 4-year-old bull snake and he is wonderful, but he's not going to eat for us today. But Jacob is. So Jacob was wild caught probably about 10 years ago. He was really bad shape when they caught him. He was really skinny, not eating very well. And now you can see this video obviously doesn't do him justice. He is about 6 foot long. He is a very gentle snake considering how big he is. He is not on display because we do not have an enclosure big enough for him, as well as we use him in programs a lot. So he's kind of just easier, take him out. He's not being missed from display or anything like that. So Jacob is a huge snake. Right now he is just getting a normal adult mouse. Some days he will get very large adult mice. Some days he will get multiple mice. So he is kind of like our hybrid in our last feeding our non-venomous snake video. He's kind of like our garbage disposal. If we have an extra mouse that's been defrosted, we feed it to Jacob. So he is very spoiled. He's a very strong snake. So he's very cool to watch eat when he decides to actually constrict his prey. So we love him. He's been here forever. We obviously don't know how old he is, but we assume he's pretty old since he's pretty big. So when we were talking earlier in the video about the glottis and how snakes hiss, Jacob hisses a lot. He's not angry or anything when he hisses. He is just a very vocal snake. So that can scare some people, but he is a gentle giant. All right, guys, so that is all the snakes that are going to eat for us today. We really hope you enjoyed the video. Again, make sure you like and subscribe so you can see more of our videos, and hopefully in the future we can even see more of our snakes eat. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us in A New Way to Museum with the Sternberg Museum of Natural History. If you enjoyed this video, like it and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell for notifications when we release a new video. Support us on Patreon for early access and exclusive content. You can also follow us on all our social media. Links are found in the description. Thanks for watching, and follow your curiosity to new discoveries.